Hello everyone, and welcome to Tuesday Tea at 2. I am, of course, Paegan O'Ceallaigh, and I am here to talk to you about everything that I have learned about this crazy journey of content creation that we're on, and encourage you to do the same, because these were never meant to be just me waffling on as if I am the be-all, end-all of information. I'm not. I can only tell you what I've learned, what's working for me, what's not working for me, and I really do encourage you to do the same. So, as we're going through this, if you have any questions that you would like to ask or any points that you would like to make, I do encourage you to please speak up, either exclamation point ask or exclamation point in the chat. For the moderators, they will help you get onto the Discord and will pull you in. She'll appear in this little nifty box right here, along with your username and your photos, so that way everyone knows who you are. Alright? So, a little bit about myself, just in case you don't know. I have been streaming since February. Before that, I did a year's worth of research before I ever dipped my toes into the water. And in my professional life, my professional self is all about process management and culture creation and that sort of thing. So, I'm sort of mixing those two together to become a content creator. Today, I would like to talk to you about a very important topic that I know a lot of people struggle with when it comes to streaming, when it comes to content creation. After you've started and you're ready to go and all of the work sets in, you tend to struggle with a bit of a motivation issue. Motivation is so hard to come by sometimes, especially when you're in the thick of things. And so I would like to talk today a little bit about motivation in general and what it means to people and how you can kind of keep yourself motivated as you're going through all of these things. So motivation, it's important to know, is absolutely crucial for your progress, right? How are you going to continue to progress if you have no motivation? If you're looking at all of the work that is set out in front of you, if you're looking at having to get on stream, turn on that camera and start doing whatever it is that you do, if you don't have that, you're not going to progress. You're just not. You're not going to go anywhere. Nothing is going to happen for you. So you have to find that motivation and keep that motivation in order to keep going. And it's important to note that motivation is going to be different for every single person. And there's no one magic answer of what's going to motivate you. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to talk to you about some of the things that work for me in terms of motivation, some of the things that I've seen work for other people in terms of motivation, and hopefully it will help you out. But just know that I am speaking in general, broad terms. These things might work for you, they might not. Motivation is a highly individual thing, but hopefully it'll be able to help you out at least a little bit. So the topics that we're going to cover today, in terms of motivation, we're going to talk about planning, because if you've been to any one of these teas, you know we're all about planning here, having a plan, what your plan should be, sticking to your plan. You had to know it was coming up. There's never been a single tea where we didn't talk about having a plan. So we're going to talk about planning. That's right, because you have to plan for motivation. You're going to have to plan for the fact that you need it. We're going to get into that a little bit. We're also going to talk about goals, because goals are so important when it comes to motivating yourself and keeping yourself motivated throughout your entire process, your entire journey of content creation. You've got to have goals. Got to have goals. You have to. They're so important. We're also going to talk about inspiration. Inspiration is such a key to motivation. And you know what? You had some sort of inspiration to start doing this at all. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. And then, of course, we're going to talk about some of my best practices, some of my recommendations for you, because I always like you guys to leave either these live chats or the videos on YouTube with a couple of things that you can put into practice yourself today and move forward. So let's dive right on into it and let's talk about planning. Because you know, we're planners around here. We're planners. So the very first point that I'm going to make is have a plan. Have a plan. I say this in every single tea because it is so true and it is so important. And when it comes to keeping yourself motivated, having a plan is going to help you. It's going to help you when you lose that motivation. It's going to help you re-find it. It's going to give you that little push that you need. because having a plan is going to let you know why you started. Why did you become a streamer? Why did you become a content creator? Why did you choose to make the kind of content that you're making? All of those things are going to be in your plan because you've planned it all out. You're like, I want to get to this end point. This is what I want to do with myself. This is your ultimate motivation. Your plan is your motivation. So if you have your plan and you know why you started, you know, and you have that motivation to keep going. For me, I know exactly why I started. I know exactly why I started, not only just streaming in general, but every sort of content that I make, whether it be these teas or the morbidity and mythos that I've started doing, or my What's Good Wednesdays or my community nights. I have a plan for all of those things, and I have a purpose behind them, and I know why I started them. So whenever I find myself sitting there and I'm going, oh man, it's so much work, I'm so burnt out, I don't want to keep going, I can look back at my plan and I can go, right, this is why I started doing it, because I want to be able to write, or I want to be able to help people, or I want to be able to have a good time with my viewers. Whatever it is, I know why I started. I have that plan, and it helps give me that motivation to pick myself up out of that slump and keep going. And if you have a plan yourself, it'll work the exact same way. Now, having a plan is also going to help you know where you're headed, which this can be huge, because one of the main reasons why people tend to lose motivation is because they forget where they're headed, or they don't know what to do next. They don't know, what step comes after what they've done. People tend to get overwhelmed, and I do as well. When I have so many things to do between now and, tomorrow's stream, or now and next month, and it's just so many things. Being able to look at your plan and go, okay, well, I've already planned this out. I already know step B comes after step A, step C comes next. It helps dig you out of that kind of spiral that you can fall into. That trap of there's too many things to do. I don't know where I'm headed. I don't know what I have to do next. If you have a plan, if you take the time to make yourself a plan and to update your plan on a regular basis, you will never find yourself in that situation. You will never find yourself not knowing what to do next or what comes next, because you'll always have your steps laid out for you. And then all you need to do is just follow your next step. Even if you don't have the motivation and the drive and the passion to keep going, all I have to do is follow this next step. That's it. That's how you get past your burnout. That's how you get past your doubt and everything that you have. All you have to do, look at your document, look at your notebook, look at wherever you've written down your plan, and just do the next step. That's it. And that can be so powerful to motivate you. Because once you've completed just one thing, everything else is much easier. Everything else is so much easier. I know it sounds hokey. I know it sounds like a bunch of new age psychobabble. But realistically, if you have 50 things to do and you're being crushed under the weight of doing those 50 things, if you can knock off just one of those things, well, now you've only got 49 left to do. And you have that sort of snowball effect, right? You have a bit of propulsion in the direction that you need to go. Well, you've already done one thing, you can do another. You've got this. This is nothing. And so being able to just follow your plan, to know where you're headed, can really help you break through a lot of those mental blocks that you're going to run into, because they do happen. They do. And the more you try to do, the more often they're going to happen. So be prepared. Be prepared, have a plan, and know the way out. Another added benefit of having a plan to motivate yourself is you know exactly how to get where you're trying to get to, right? It's not only, oh, I need to do Tuesday tea today. All right, shit, how am I going to do that? You don't even need to think about it. You don't need to think about it because you already have your plan. You already have your steps. You already know what you need to do, and you've already decided how you're going to do it. So it just makes it all that much easier when you don't have the motivation, when you find yourself feeling burnt out or feeling tired or just not that into it. Literally all you have to do is follow the steps that you already laid out for yourself when you did have that motivation, when you were passionate and you did have that drive. You've already done all of the hard part. Now all you need to do is the easy part, to actually just follow those steps and follow through. And it makes life so much easier, not only in terms of your time management, but specifically when you find yourself being down, not wanting to go on, having issues, trying to figure out, how am I going to motivate myself to do this? You don't really need as much motivation to just follow a step-by-step plan than you do to come up with a plan. So come up with your plan while you're motivated, while you're passionate, while you're fired up and energetic and you're ready to go. So that way when you do hit those points where you're not feeling as great, when you're not feeling as passionate, when you're not feeling as driven, and you can still make progress. And that is going to help you out in so many ways. I really encourage you to try it. I know I stress all the time. Have a plan. Have a plan. But I'm telling you, like if I had to have a bumper sticker plastered to my forehead of just one thing that I ever want you guys to take away from these, it's that. Have a plan. There's so many benefits to having a plan and no real drawbacks, aside from the fact that, it takes a bit of time. But you know what? Everything you do is going to take time. So, you have a plan for your content. You even have a plan to help motivate yourself. The next must to motivation is to have goals. Right? Because how are we ever going to stay motivated if we don't feel like we're accomplishing anything? So, have goals. Goals will help you track your progress. They're going to let you know, hey, you are making headway. You are doing something. What you're doing is worthwhile. You're not stagnating. You're not, just sitting there doing all of this for nothing. If you set proper goals, you can track your progress. So when you're not feeling motivated, you can look at it and go, hey, I'm this much closer to my goal than where I was last month. Or, hey, I completed all of these goals already. Look how well I'm doing. Being able to track your progress is going to keep you motivated. It's going to keep you hugely helpful for motivation, right? Right? Think about it for a minute. If you find yourself, 8-9 months into streaming and, maybe you don't have the largest follower goal or the largest subscriber count, maybe you're not getting the best engagement on your tweets or whatever it is, it's very easy to go, well, shit, I'm just wasting my time. I'm just wasting my time and all of this is for nothing. If you've set yourself goals along the way, you can look back at those goals and go, you know what? Yeah, I maybe don't have the biggest reach, but look, I've put 20 videos out on YouTube. I have managed to stream 3 days a week, every week for 8 months. I have, started a new segment. I have written 5 skits. I have done 12 reviews. I have done whatever it is. Whatever, this is for something. This means something, and I'm doing well. Because with a lot of jobs, as you're doing them, out in the real world, you get that sort of feedback loop, right? That lets you know you're doing a good job. right? Either you have a boss that'll pat you on the back and give you an attaboy, or, you get a raise or a promotion, or you get extra hours or increased responsibilities, right? Some jobs even give extra benefits, like maybe you'll get a bonus or something like that. All of those things let you know that you're doing a good job. When it comes to working for yourself, when it comes to content creation and doing things on your own, you don't have that feedback loop. You don't have that feedback loop. There's no one that's going to sit there and say, hey, you know what, Reverend Marcus, you've done really well. You've put out, 45 hours of content this week. Good job. Nobody is going to tell you that. Nobody is going to sit there and pat you on the back and let you know you're doing a good job. So you need to find a way to do that for yourself. And the way you do that for yourself is by setting goals. So that way, when you do accomplish your goals, you get that sort of feedback loop. You get that positive reinforcement. You get that, hey, you know what? Good job, Pae. Good job, Pae. We've written an original story every week this month. I've accomplished my goal. Because you have to motivate yourself. And goals are a great way to motivate yourself when you don't have that external motivation that we all tend to be so used to and so reliant on. And I find that that's a place where a lot of content creators tend to struggle. Because we're not used to working for ourselves. We're not used to having to set our own metrics. We're not used to having to set our own goals. And we're definitely not used to being required to congratulate ourselves for what it is that we're doing. And so learning how to do that, learning how to set your own goals is very important. And it's going to be one of the absolute keys to keeping yourself motivated. Not to mention, being close to completing a goal is going to give you that added push that you need, right? If you're feeling down, if you're just not feeling it, if you're, maybe you're depressed, maybe you're tired, maybe you're feeling burnt out, maybe you're feeling like what you do doesn't matter, maybe you're feeling like you're never going to accomplish a goal that you have. When you look at that goal that you've set for yourself and you see how close you are to completing that goal, that is going to help give you an extra boost, an extra drive. I set a goal to get 20 videos up and done and edited 20 videos, and I've done 18. Only two more, and I've completed my goal, right? And two is nothing. You can do two. Two is absolutely nothing. Heck yeah, go for it. We can do two. Right? And if you can kind of frame things in your mind that way, if you set your goals to be attainable, and yeah, you have to push for them a little bit, but as long as they're obtainable and they're never too far away, all you have to do is a little push to get there. Right? You don't have to spend the next 65 hours on something. You don't have to stop sleeping and drive until you can't do it anymore. Because it's a small goal. It's not far away. It's not going to be a huge problem. You can do it. And that's what you have to do with your goals. The closer you are to your goal, the easier it is to achieve. And the easier it is to achieve, the more motivation that you can get out of it to achieve that goal, right? Because it's a lot easier to do something that's easy. It's a lot easier to find the motivation to do something that's easy, that's simple, than it is to move a mountain, right? So being close to your goals, setting them properly, where they're not, it's going to take me 6 months to finish this, and that's the only feedback loop that I have. Having a bunch of smaller goals that you can always be close to, that are always only just another couple of steps down the path, is going to get you to keep walking. And if you can keep walking, you build that momentum and you can keep going and going and going and going. And that is a huge key to keeping yourself motivated. Goals also give your viewers motivation, right? Depending on what your goals are, depending on what they are, and if you share them with your viewers, your viewers, your community, as you're building it, they're there with you. If you're a small streamer, which I'm assuming if you're in this live chat, or if you're watching this video, you're a small streamer, you've not started yet, or, you're just starting out, or you've not made as much progress as you'd like, or you're trying to make more, you're still probably a small streamer, right? So your viewers are there to take this journey with you. They want to see you grow. They want to be part of that growth. They want to see you improve. And if you share with them what your goals are, like, hey, my goal is to get 20 videos out on YouTube. And if you update them on your progress, if you update them and let them know, hey, we're on number 17, we're on number 18, we're on number 19, we've got one more to go, your viewers are going to be pulling for you as well. And they can help give you that external motivation that you might be looking for. Now, not all of us need external motivation, but some of us do. Some of us do. And you can get that from your community, not only from your viewers, but from your friends, from your peers, from fellow content creators. You let them know what your goals are and update them on their progress and encourage them to do the same to you. You guys can push each other and celebrate each other's progress, right? Nobody gets anywhere alone. And that includes hitting your goals. Hitting your goals, even if your goal is something that only input from you can progress it, right? If that goal is, I am going to sit here and edit 20 clips for TikTok, right? Only you can do that. You're the only one actually sitting there and putting in the work. But if you share that with your friends, with your peers, with your community, if you get around people and you share that goal with them, even if they're not physically sitting there helping you edit, they're there to share in your progress. They're there to share in your accomplishment. And they're there to help you with that motivation to keep you pushing and keep you going forward. Sharing what you're doing, sharing your goals, is going to give you that external motivation that you might not need. And you know what? If you don't need it, that's all the better, because you're going to still get that extra bit of motivation. And let me tell you, when you start getting into the thick of things and things start getting rough, any bit of extra motivation is helpful. Any person in your corner pulling for you, anybody there to cheer you on is going to be helpful. And not only that, but if you're the type of person who actively shares your goals and your dreams and your triumphs with other people, then people are going to share their goals and their dreams and their triumphs and their successes with you as well. And you can then sit there and cheer them on. You can champion other people, not just yourself, which is something that we always want to advocate for around here, right? Getting around the homies, getting around other people. Championing someone else can help your own motivation as well. If you're cheering someone on and you watch them and you're like, oh man, you're so close to your goal, you're almost there, you've got this, you can do this, and then they hit that goal, you've helped them hit that goal. Look at you, you have pushed someone towards their goal, you have helped them out, and now you're going to be pushed in your own right. Well, if they can do it, I can do it. If Witwit can hit, 50 hours of content this week, I can damn well hit 35. Right? Whatever your goal is, motivating others and being motivated in return comes with sharing. Nook says, dreams can come true. They can. They absolutely can. And all it takes is just being willing to share. Being willing to share, being willing to get around other people. You will be astounded. You'll be astounded the kinds of things that you can do when you just share. And share your goals. Share your goals. And you know what? Share your failures as well. Share your failures. Don't fall into that trap of toxic positivity where everything I do goes right and that's the only thing that people are ever going to see. Don't do that, because then you come out as disingenuous. And when you do need support and when you do need that bit of motivation, when you are struggling, you're not going to be willing to share with people. Because if you can't share a tiny thing that went wrong, how are you going to share the big thing that's really weighing on your mind? Share your goals, share your triumphs, share even your lack of motivation. If you're suffering a lack of motivation, tell people. Tell people. I guarantee you, if you were to walk right now over to your Twitter, to your Discord, to wherever it is, and you just send a message that says, man, I'm really not feeling motivated today, I guarantee you that at least one person will have some words of encouragement for you. And if not, get yourself some new friends, because these are not the type of people that you need in your life. So, setting goals. Incredibly important to keeping yourself motivated and to working through those down times, those slumps. Because anyone that has ever told you content creation or streaming or being a YouTuber is nothing but upside, it's nothing but greatness, it's nothing but positivity all the time, and we're all always happy and motivated and driven, whoever has ever told you that is a liar. It's a lie. They're just lying to you. Because it's not that. Content creation, streaming, whatever you want to call it, is work. And it's hard work. And you know what? Work that is hard. Work that is hard is eventually going to weigh on you. You're eventually going to find yourself in periods of time where you just, I want to give up. It's pointless. I'm just not feeling it. You're always going to come across those points in time. You're always going to come across them. They're always going to be there. You may not have them often. You may have them every week. They may not hit until 6 months in. They may hit a week into starting. It does not matter, but they're going to hit at some point. And you have to be ready for them. So, the next bit of keeping yourself motivated, the next little key to that lock, to setting yourself up to be able to stay motivated and keep going, keep driving for those goals, keep working towards those dreams, is going to be inspiration. Inspiration is going to remind you what you're aspiring to. So when you started this, when you sat down and you made the decision and you said, yes, I am going to become a streamer, I'm going to become a YouTuber, I'm going to host a podcast, or I'm going to, whatever it is that you're doing. When you sat down and made that choice to do that, there was a purpose behind it. There was a reason. There was something about that inspired you to do it. Now, that might be another person. That might be another work. That might be a show or a movie or another creator. It doesn't matter what it was, but something inspired you. Something inspired you and something within you responded and said, yes, this is what I want to be. And if you're clear with yourself about your inspiration and about who and what inspired you, when you hit those periods of just being unmotivated, you can then go ahead and look at that and you can be reminded why you doing this in the first place, why you started this, why you have a plan, where you're going to head to. And it's hugely, hugely important. Now, for me, I want to share, we didn't plan to, but I want to share this one little tip that I did when I first started out, which is I wrote down on a little post-it note that's right here attached to my computer. I don't know if you can hear it, I've just pulled it off. But it's right there, so you know it's actually here. When I first started off, I wrote down a list of 5 content creators that inspire me. 5 people that inspire me. It didn't matter whether they were authors, whether they were YouTubers, whether they were live streamers, whatever it was. 5 people, 5 creators that inspire me. Now, each one of them, for me, inspires me for different reasons. But they're all there on the list. And they're right within view at all times. And when I find myself unmotivated or unsure how to go forward, all I have to do is I look over at that list, I see those names, and I'm like, yes, I want to be like them. I want to be like them. I want to have their kind of research, their kind of explanations, their kind of entertainment value, their kind of humour, whatever it is about each one of them that inspired me. I want to have that. And that helps me to keep going forward. Now, sometimes just looking at that list of names doesn't do it. It's fair enough. Sometimes just looking at that list of names doesn't do it. But you know what? They're right there. They're right there. And when it's not doing it, just looking at it, I take a trip to the old YouTube. I head on over to Twitch. I go watch a stream or watch a VOD or watch a video, or I go boot up a podcast and I listen. And I'm reminded of all the things that they inspired me to do and what it is that I aspire to be. And that helps me find that motivation again. And it helps me to keep on going. And I really recommend that you try this out for yourselves. Start with 5 people. Start with 5 people and add them to your list. And then you know what? As you go on, as you make this journey, as you're exposed to new people, to new creators, whether they be peers or just people that you're checking out, add to your list. Add to your list of people that inspire you. I started with 5 people. My list has now gone up to about 20. There's now about 20 people that inspire me, that I can look to for motivation, even if I'm not hitting them up and going, hey, I'm feeling kind of crappy. Can I have some motivation, please? But just watching them do what it is that they do really helps with that motivation, because they inspire me to do what it is that I want to do and to keep going. Try it out for yourselves. It has been one of the biggest keys these past 9 months. These past 9 months that I have been streaming. It has been one of the biggest things that helps me keep going. Inspiration also gives you something to look forward to. It gives you something to look forward to. If you know who inspires you, right? Maybe you look up to, I don't know, a random creator. I'll take one from the list. I will take one from my list. Maybe you look up to Tro. The Right Opinion is one of my greatest inspirations. It's The Right Opinion. Whether you agree with him or not, whether you like his content or not, I am inspired by The Right Opinion, right? And when I'm feeling unmotivated, when I don't feel like I can go on, when I just really want to say, fuck it all, I can look at The Right Opinion and I can dream about it. And I can daydream a little bit and be like, oh man, one day I am going to be able to look at my own content and have that same sort of feeling of pride in my content that I have in The Right Opinion's content. And it's a bit weird, right, to have pride in someone else's content. But as a content creator myself, as a writer, as someone who strives for certain things, I can look at this person that I've never met, and I'm likely never going to meet or never going to speak to, and I can look at it and go, man, the work that you do, the effort that you put into, and the end result that you provide is a credit and a point of pride to writers and content creators everywhere. And one day, I hope that someone can say the same thing about me. And that right there is motivation for me to go back to work on my scripts, to go back to work on my plans, to go back to work on these Tuesday teas. Because I want one day to be able to have even just one person that looks at my content the same way that I look at the Right Opinions content. And for me, that motivation is so, so helpful. Now, it may not be the same thing for you. It may be harder for you to decide upon that, and that's fine. That's totally fine. If you have something else that works for you, please let me know. Honestly, jump in the chat, let me know. Pop on the Discord, leave it in the comment section below. I want to know what helps you. What helps you? What gives you something to look forward to? Are you dreaming about how nice it will be to be able to work from home on your own schedule? Is that something that motivates you? Is your inspiration being able to reach a bunch of people? Are you inspired by the thought of having a platform where you can talk to, hundreds of people a day? Are you inspired by, the idea of going to some sort of convention and having people want to pick your brain about the kind of content that you make? What is it that inspires you? What do you look forward to? Whatever that is, use it as motivation. Set it up somewhere. Write it down where you can see it. Have something to look forward to. And you all have something to look forward to. You do, because something started you off. Something set you on this path. What is it? Look back at it. Check in from time to time. And just remind yourself why you started all of this in the first place. And what it is that you're looking forward to. Going to have some tea here so that I don't die. Dearth, same here, Pay. Good. And you became one of the 20 people who inspire me to create content. Did I really? Are you going to make me cry? Like, keep it together, Pay. Keep it together. But honestly, thank you. Thank you so much for that, Earth. I really and genuinely appreciate that. That hits me, oh my gosh, right here. That hits me right here. I'm going to have some more tea so I can pull myself together. That honestly to me is one of the biggest and hugest compliments that I can ever receive. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's so kind. So kind. Alright. So when it comes to inspiration, the last point that I want to make regarding being inspired is having people that inspire you, having creators that inspire you, having a goal that inspires you, whatever it is going to help you model yourself in a positive direction. Right? Now, I'm not suggesting, of course, that you copy someone. I'm not saying that I'm going to become unmotivated and then in order to be motivated, I am going to just become a carbon copy of the Right Opinion or of Kappa Kaiju or, anybody that inspires me. I'm not going to become a carbon copy of them. But I can look at the bits of their content or their work ethic or their own motivations or whatever it is about them that inspires me. And we can sort of model myself after those things, right? And you can do the same thing. Now, maybe your inspiration is not a person. Maybe your inspiration is not a person and, you can't really model yourself after their work ethic or their sense of humour or the way that they put in research and what they're talking about. Maybe you don't have that. Maybe your inspiration is simply because you want to be able to interact with people and you want to make people happy, right? Maybe you just are out here and your inspiration to set you off on this path was you wanted to entertain people. You can still model yourself in a positive direction towards that end goal, towards that inspiration. by making sure that you always have entertaining content, by making sure that you focus on the way you interact with people. Maybe you can muzzle yourself in that direction by building more time in your schedule to interact with people. Whatever it is, whatever inspires you, you can use that to muzzle yourself in the positive direction where you want to go. And when you lose that motivation, when you're searching for that motivation, and you're sitting there and you're like, man, I really want to get here, and the reason why I want to get here is because of my inspiration, is because of this. And all I need to do is take some time, sit there, and as long as you feel like you're working towards that goal, as long as you feel like you're modelling yourself in the direction you need to go, you'll find that motivation again. You'll find that passion, and you'll find that drive, and you'll be able to keep on going. And that's the important thing when it comes to motivation. Motivation is not, the ability to always be 100%, always be super driven and passionate and driving and ready to go and overflowing with ideas and energy and all of that. That's not what motivation is. Motivation is having the ability and the drive to keep going, however slowly, one foot in front of the other, when you don't feel like it. Right? That's what, when it comes down to it, that's what motivation is. Motivation is whatever is going to be that little kick in the ass that says, put one foot in front of the other. Write 5 words. Brush your hair. Whatever it is, whatever you're struggling with, motivation is not meant to be this magic bullet that immediately fills you with all of that same drive and passion that you have about your project or about what you're working on. Motivation is that little nudge that gets you to stop standing still and to keep moving forward. Because the very act of continuing to move forward itself is what will propel you and keep you going and bring you back to that energy and back to that drive and back to that passion. But it starts with taking that one step forward. And that's all you need to do. Motivation is not hard if you look at it that way. I see a lot of people that struggle with motivation because they're looking for that one thing that's going to get them right back to that full energy, right? They're always looking for that. How do I motivate myself to just be up and 100% all the time? And that's not what motivation is, and that's not what it's for. If you can learn to look at motivation as it's just that little push to get you to keep moving forward again, or to restart walking along your path, that's all you need. And then motivation becomes very simple. And there's one small quote that I'd like to leave you with. And I do not remember where it came from. It's just been so ingratiated into myself and into my personality and into everything that I believe and stand for, which is 30 seconds of doing something is better than not doing it at all. 30 seconds of brushing your hair is better than not brushing your hair at all. 30 seconds of brushing your teeth is better than not doing it at all. 30 seconds of working on your content creation is better than not doing it at all. 30 seconds of editing is better than not doing it at all. All you need to do is find that motivation to do something for 30 seconds. Because 30 seconds easily becomes a minute. Becomes 2 minutes, becomes 5 minutes, becomes 10 minutes. And the more you practice, the more you work at your motivation, the more you work on taking that little tiny step to start doing what you need to do, the easier it is to keep going. And the more you keep going, the more drive you're going to find, the easier it is to reach your goals, to find that passion and to get back to that 100% drive that you were at. That should be the point of motivation for you. It absolutely should be. And I know it requires a lot of readjusting your mindset and a lot of throwing out everything that you thought you knew or the way you approached motivating yourself. But if you can manage to do it, if you take the time, if you work on reprogramming your own mind that way, you can go so far, and nothing will be able to stop you. Because no matter what happens to you, no matter what stands in your way, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because you know how to motivate yourself to take that one little step of doing something for 30 seconds. And you have a plan, so you know what that something is. You don't have to think about it. You know how to do that something. You don't have to think about it. And as you're doing it, you can see your goals. You can see all of the ones that you did already, and you know that you can do this too. And you can see your goal that you're working for, and it's not far away, and you know that you can get there. And you'll have people in your corner letting you know, yes, you can do it. And you'll have people that you know that if they can do something, so can you. And all you have to do is take that one little step. That one little step, 30 seconds. 30 seconds of starting to do something. And before you know it, you will have moved a mountain. You will have made an entire video. You will have finished that animation project that you're working on. You'll have written that story. You'll have recorded that podcast. You'll have done that interview. It all starts with just a tiny bit of motivation. So, now that hopefully you can see how all of those things work together, how they all tie in to give you that motivation to keep going, I have a few best practices for you that I want to share. Some things that have worked for me, some things that have worked for other people, some things that I have told other people to do, that I have seen them do and that I've seen worked for them. I want to, of course, preface this and say, it might not work for you. Motivation is a very personal thing. Not all of these are going to work for you. Maybe all of them will, maybe only some of them will, maybe none of them will. But this is what I know, what works for me, what I know has worked for some other people, and I'm going to share them with you. So try them out for yourselves, see if they work. If they do, great, awesome, I'm super happy. If they don't, I'm sorry. Maybe you can see the thought behind them and find something that does work for you. And let me know. Let me know. I do want to know. DM me. Send me a DM on Twitter. At me on Twitter. Leave a comment down below. Hit me up on Discord. Whatever it is. If any of these tips work for you, let me know. If any of them don't work for you, let me know. Let me know. I'd love to talk to you about it. I would love to find out why they didn't work for you. And if you found something else that does work for you, if you've transformed one of these, if you've gone about it in a different way, if you have something else entirely that works for you that I don't know about, that I've not tried, let me know. Please share that information with me. Not only so that I know for myself, but so that way I can in turn share that information with other people. Because nobody gets anywhere alone, right? I am sharing with you what I know, what works for me. The only thing that I ask is you share in return. Share what's working, what's not working. Let me know. Let's discuss. So, here are my best practices. Here are some tips and tricks that I have for you for when it comes to motivation. Write it down. Write it down. Write down your plan. Write down who inspires you. Write down your goals. And when I say write them down, I literally mean write them down. Take a pen, take a piece of paper, physically take the time to write it down with your actual hands on actual paper in a tangible physical form. Write it down and keep it nearby. Personally, I am a very digital creature. You know, I like things in the digital space. I like typing. It's easier to type things out. It's faster. I get it. But that physical act of taking the time to write things down, in some way for me, makes it a much more concrete action, right? If I've written something down on paper in ink, it's a lot harder to get away from than just hitting a backspace button and deleting those words, right? Writing it down, writing down a plan, writing down a goal has a certain level of commitment to it. That really helps with motivating me because it's written down. I can't just easily delete this and keep it nearby. Keep it nearby. So I told you guys about my post-it note with my list of people that inspire me. I have it written down. And when I look at that, I do remember sitting there and writing it out. And every time I add someone new to that list, I write it down. And that act helps so much. But not only that, I also physically have written down my goals. I've committed to my goals by writing them down. And they're here where I can see them all hours of the day and night when I'm in front of my computer. Write it down. It really does help. The next tip, the next best practice that I have for you is to set attainable goals. Now, I don't mean that all of your goals need to be small, although I do recommend smaller goals. What I mean when I say set attainable goals, I want you to set goals that you yourself can accomplish, that are not based on other people. When you're setting yourself a goal, it should be something that you alone have power to complete. You alone, with no input from anyone else, can complete. The success or failure of reaching that goal relies solely upon you. Now, what this means is for all of you guys out there who have goals where you say, I want to get to 50 followers. I want to get to 100 subscribers. I want to, have $100 donation, whatever it is, but especially when it comes to follower goals, you cannot control that. You can do all of the things ever. You could put out the best content ever. You can reach out, you can market yourself, you can do whatever it is. But at the end of the day, you are not in control of whether or not you meet that goal. You're not in control. You can influence it, but you are not in control of that goal. At the end of the day, succeeding at a follower goal or a subscriber goal or anything like that requires another human being to press the button. You cannot force someone to press that button. Therefore, you are not in charge of that goal. When you're setting yourself goals, they should be things that rely 100% on you. Have a goal of uploading X number of videos, of going live X number of times this month, of producing X number of minutes of content. Those things rely solely upon you. They don't rely on other people. And the reason why it's so important for your motivation that you set goals that only rely upon yourself is so that way you don't get unmotivated, right? Because what's one of the biggest things that you see causing others to get really unmotivated? Not getting the subscriber counts, not reaching their follower goals, not reaching that 3 average viewers for affiliate, not being able to hit that 75 average viewers to hit partner, right? They're all based on other people. And as hard as you work and as much as you do, you don't feel like you're making progress towards that goal. And you never will feel like you're making progress towards that goal because it relies on other people. And because you can't control other people, you can't make tangible progress towards that goal on your own merit, on your own. And that's going to demotivate you rather than motivate you. But if your goal is to create 5 new scenes on your OBS this year. Well, that doesn't rely on anyone else, does it? That relies solely on you. You can complete that on your own. That relies on you. That is a goal that you can push for, that you can drive for. And when you complete it, not only was it your doing, but as you're getting closer and closer to that goal, it's not dependent on something you cannot control. Set attainable goals that are not based on other people. Alright? The next one, the next bit of advice, the next best practice that I have for you is to hold yourself accountable. Hold yourself accountable to your goals. And one great way to do that is to say it publicly. Announce your goals publicly. To hold yourself accountable. There are all kinds of studies that show that you are much more likely to complete a goal if you have announced it publicly. So, for all of you in the chat right now, for all of you watching the video, hold yourself accountable. Say it publicly. Feel free. Drop your goal for this week, for this month, whatever it is. Drop it down there in the comment section. Put it down there. Post it on Twitter. Do whatever it is you have to do. Hold yourself accountable to your goals. Make your goals public knowledge. That one simple act of saying it publicly is going to increase your accountability, and it's going to make you much, much more likely to achieve your goals. And you know what? If your only motivation to finish something, if the only motivation that you can find to finish something is because I told Twitter that I was going to do this, so I'm damn well going to do it. If that's the only thing that gets you to complete a goal, it doesn't matter. Because you know what? It got you to complete your goal. As Witwit says, accountability is a must. Hold yourself accountable. If you can't hold yourself accountable on your own, post it publicly. Post it publicly. Have a friend. Have a friend hold you accountable. Ask someone to just hold you accountable. Offer to hold them accountable in return. Use Twitter. Use your viewers. Use whatever it is. Use this video to hold yourself accountable if you need to. Help yourself. Comment section is down there. Post your goal. I don't care. At me on Instagram. Tell me what your goals are. I don't care. Whatever you need to do, hold yourself accountable. It's absolutely, absolutely vital and critical. And it is one of the most important things that you can ever do for yourself to keep yourself motivated. The next best practice, or the next tip that I have for you when it comes to keeping yourself motivated, is to believe that there are no failures, right? A lot of us tend to really lose that motivation, to really sap that energy and that drive when something happens that we perceive as a failure, right? Whether your stream went down, or there was a typo in your script, or, the video didn't upload correctly, or, whatever it is, whatever you perceive as a failure is one of the biggest ways that we tend to lose motivation. And a big key to staying motivated, to keeping going forward, is to throw out that mindset that you can fail, that anything at all is a failure. I think it was Thomas Edison that said something about, I didn't fail 100 times to create a light bulb. I succeeded in finding 100 ways not to make a light bulb. Right? I don't know about the historical accuracy of that, or whether it's just spin, but the idea is the same. The idea is the exact same. If you can get out of the mindset that there is such a thing as failure, you're going to find yourself a lot easier to be motivated, a lot easier to regain your motivation, a lot more likely to keep walking forward. Because there is no such thing as failure in what you're doing. There isn't. You're a content creator, you're a streamer. This is all a creative process. right? It's all a creative process. Deep down at the core levels of what you're doing, it's artistic. Can you fail at art? No, you can't. You can only do better at art. A 3-year-old who does the craziest finger painting ever, lopsided stick figures or just splotches, you can't tell what it is. Was that a failure? No. Because you know why? They did it. They put paint to paper. It's not a failure. No matter what it is that you're doing, whether you're happy with the end result or not, you didn't fail. You succeeded. Because you created something. You put something out there. If your stream crashed, oh well, you still went live. You still succeeded in going live. And you know what? You found an opportunity. You succeeded in finding an opportunity to do better, to figure out how to prevent your stream from crashing. If you messed up in a live stream, if you forgot what you were going to say, if you stumbled over your words, it doesn't matter. It's not a failure because you still said words. You still got up there, you still said words. It wasn't a failure. And it's an opportunity to get better. Part of staying motivated, part of keeping going on this path and on this journey of content creation that we're all on right now, is learning how to realise that there are no failures. It's impossible for you to fail. There's no such thing as failure. You could sit there and you could stream to 0 viewers 7 days a week for 12 hours a day. I don't recommend that. We've talked about scheduling and how long you should be streaming. Don't do that. But you could. But you could do all of those things and you're still not a failure. Because you know what? You're turning on that camera, you're booting up OBS, you're getting out there and you're making content. You're not a failure. You've succeeded. You've done what you set out to do, which is to make a stream, which is to post a video. There is no such thing as failing. And you really need to find the space within yourself, to find that mindset, that you truly and genuinely believe that. And I know it's hard. Gosh, do I know it's hard. Because it is. You're rewiring your brain. You're trying to convince yourself to let go of all of the things that you have learned and seen throughout your life, that failures are a thing that exists in the world and you have to be fearful of them, you have to worry about them, you have to plan for them, you have to try never to fail. Learning to let go of that is hard and it's a process. But it is one of the biggest and most important things that you can do for yourself in terms not only of motivation, but personal growth as well. Believe that there are no failures. And finally, the last best practice that we have for you, the last tip that I have to share with you today, when it comes to being motivated, is to trust in yourself and the process. That's it. That's all you have to do. Trust in yourself. Believe in yourself. Believe that you have what it takes to do what you set out to do. Believe that you as a human being, are more than capable of following your plan. More than capable of doing what you set out to do. Believe that you can do it and that you're worthy of doing it. Trust in yourself that you have what it takes to follow your dreams, to achieve the goals that you want to achieve. Trust in yourself and your ability to do what you set out to do. Your ability and your worthiness of achieving these goals, of becoming that content creator, of making that content that you believe in, that you set out to create. And trust in your own process. Trust in the plans that you lay for yourself. Trust in your ability to create, in your ability to write, in your ability to be funny, in your ability to engage, whatever it is at the core of your content. trust in yourself and find that ability to believe in yourself. If you can do that, you can work your way through anything. You truly can move mountains. It does not matter what comes up against you or what you face. If you can find that faith and trust and believe in yourself, you can really do anything. I don't care how hokey or how cheesy that might sound. You can do anything if you set your mind to it. You've probably been told that since you were a small child, and it is the absolute truth. And so, that's it. That's all I have for you guys today on motivation. Hello, Cheeseman. Dude, perfect timing to find this stream. Awesome. Awesome. Maybe not perfect timing, because we are ending it. But it's a YouTube video, so you know what? The hell vault will be there like 10 minutes after we're done. So you can go through the entire thing. But welcome in, it's good to see you. So thank you, guys. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for joining me. We really and truly appreciate it. If you have any questions, any thoughts, comments, questions or concerns, please drop them down there in that comment section. I do my absolute best to read and respond to every comment of substance that is posted down there. If you don't want to leave a comment, if you didn't get a chance to participate here, hit me up on Twitter. Feel free to join the Discord. I am on Instagram. I am on TikTok. I'm flipping everywhere. If you'd like to talk, if you'd like to chat, anything like that, hit me up. I'm around. If watching this video helped you out, if attending this live stream helped you out, if you'd like to see more, please, if there was anything that you have walked away from that you find helpful, please hit that thumbs up button. Consider hitting that subscribe button. It helps me out so much, possibly more than you know. It really truly does. And if you're gracious enough to hit that subscribe button, thank you. Thank you. I'm trying to get to 200 subscribers on this channel by the end of the year. It's not a large number. I think it's possible. I'd like to do it. If it doesn't happen, I will. But I would really like to. I'd really like to see if we can get there by the end of the year. And as always, a huge thank you. We're in the void. We're in the void. Look at that. Well, never mind about that. But as always, a huge thank you to those of you that have been using Grove Grooves, which is that lovely music you hear in the background right now. Which is royalty and copyright-free music for you guys to use, streamers, content creators, role players, whatever it is, to use in the background of your own streams, to put in the background of your videos, to just listen on Spotify if you enjoy it. Thank you to you guys that have been using it. It means the absolute world to me. You guys are the absolute best. Thank you so much. And until the next time, when the Grove Door opens, I am Paegan O'Ceallaigh. May harmony find you.